Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, the House of Representatives approves a bill allowing foreign ownership on transportation, power, and communication.
The ayes have it. This this bill is approved on second reading.
But some lawmakers call the move of giving more control to foreigners unacceptable.
Further amending for the purpose, Commonwealth Act number 146, otherwise known as the Public Service Act.
And later, senators set to tackle issues hounding the ABS-CBN franchise renewal bid.
Paano natin malalaman ang katotohanan kung hindi makakapagsalita yung mga yon?
Even as House leaders insist they will give the network a fair trial. House Deputy Speaker Sharon Garin and Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza join us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. A bill seeking to amend the country's law on foreign ownership moves forward at the House of Representatives. The House Committee on Economic Affairs says that the proposed bill will bring in more foreign investors, which will boost competition in industries that will benefit the public. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, House Deputy Speaker and Economic Affairs Committee Chairperson, Congresswoman Sharon Garin. Congresswoman, good to see you again.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You know, this foreign ownership issue has been tackled over and over again, even in previous administrations,
Yes,
in
that's
fact.
true.
Let's understand this. So it's a bill easing up foreign ownership on public services.
That's correct.
First of all, why do we need to do this?
Public utility is in the Constitution that there's a 60-40 limitation. Dapat 60% at least yung Filipinos. Now, unfortunately, there's no definite statutory definition of public utility. Dati yung Public Service Act kasi yung ginagamit. Yun yung 1938 pa. So what we did was to define what is public utility. While Public Service Act defines public services, we define public utility so that we are clear which industries are within the 60-40 limitation. So as a result, electricity distribution, transmission, and water and sewerage lang yung public utility.
Okay.
And that opens up the whole industry of telecommunications, transportation, and all the rest.
So ulitin natin, ano ang hindi pwedeng dito, anong hindi pwedeng 100% foreign ownership?
Public transmission, distribution like Meralco, water distribution, and sewerage. Kasi ano yan, magkasama yan yung
So
dalawa.
yan, those are going to be considered public utilities.
Yes, the rest, if you are generating electricity, although it's not based on this bill, it's based on jurisprudence, Supreme Court ruling, and also on the law, na EPIRA law, then it's also 100% yung mga power generation. So the sectors that will be covered by this bill that passed on second reading are, just to be clear about it, transportation, telecommunications, and power generation. Yes,
okay. So these will not form part of public utility.
Correct. That will be open for 100% foreign ownership.
Why? Is this something that we can't do on our own?
We have tried. For example, telecommunications. In Malaysia, there's 100 million people yata, and there's 10 providers. In Thailand, I think there's 27. No, or the other way around. There's 27 providers. We have, how many do we have? 2 or 3?
3 now.
And our cost per month is 1,115 pesos on average. While Malaysia would be 500.
Half.
Di lang, nakakalungkot nga yung iba niyan, 18 pesos lang.
Really?
You know, or 90 pesos. Other Singapore or even now, South Korea, they're way lower. They're 10% of our cost. I think the Filipinos need better than that. We need it faster. We're the slowest. We're just slower than Laos and Myanmar, I think. The rest is way faster than us.
Why transportation?
Transportation, every Filipino, an average Filipino travels commutes in Manila about 16 days a year. That's about 100,000 pesos per year ang cost sa atin. Probably billions in pesos costing us every year in total. And that's because if you go from Quezon City to Pasay, it takes you, what, 2 hours? 3 rides along the way. That's costing our people a lot and our government a lot. So we need to improve basic service, yung services that affect the day-to-day lives of every Filipino. So if we don't supplement the Filipino capital, because it's not enough, we need more providers, we need more operators, we need more infrastructure. So it's not because we don't want Filipino capital, but it is because we need more capital so that we can improve the daily lives of every Filipino.
But is this government protecting Filipino businessmen?
Yes, we are. We have preference to Filipinos. We have many safeguards. Already there's Philippine competition, there's the emergency powers of government, there's rules and regulations with the regulating agencies, yung LTFRB, di ba? Nire-regulate nila lahat yan. We are not letting go of that. They should still, and they should be stringent in that. But in the law, nilagyan namin na in case the president, in case of national security concerns, it can prohibit or cancel or not allow a merger or acquisition kung nag-a-add yung, if it increases foreign ownership and there's a national security. For example, in case you see an acquisition of a foreign company, of a telecommunications company, the president can intervene.
Which is important.
Which is in the law.
Yeah, we need to look into
Which is
that
in the
because
law.
sometimes Congresswoman, telecommunications, because of convergence now, can somehow form part of
Yes.
mass media as well.
Yes.
So Congressman Zarate was saying, isn't it ironic how ABS-CBN's PDRs are being questioned that they have foreign investment or investments there, not ownership, and then here we are saying telecoms here, you can have 100% in the Philippines.
So say mass media is under the Constitution talaga. It's a separate, that's not under Section 11. There's a separate section just for mass media. It should be Filipino talaga. And then what we are trying to target here when we say telecommunications is merely yung cellphone natin, internet service natin. That's the spirit of the law, that's objective.
Understandable, but how can you protect it eventually from the convergence of the internet and mass media?
Then we have actually NEDA and the regulating agency and PCC that should be the ones that regulating these industries, pati NTC nandyan. So they should fall under, they should follow the rules that are set forth. And it is up to them na kailangan bantayan nila ang interest ng mass media, especially because we are very protective of our media here in the Philippines. Kaya meron pong safeguards, but with the onset of technology, it will be more difficult. But our agencies should adapt to the changing times naman.
One of the fears, though, is that if something such as telecoms is given 100% foreign ownership, it's as if the Philippines ceases completely to that particular foreign ownership, and as if we are under their mercy.
That's correct. That's a very valid concern, and I agree with that. So that's why we are trying to strengthen the safeguards. We improved like the mga penalties. Dati 200 pesos lang yung penalties per day. Now we put 2 million per day. We strengthened the procedures of the regulating agencies. Sinabi namin dapat may reciprocity, that Philippines should be allowed in their countries to invest also. Dapat 25% lang yung mga foreign employees nila.
Yeah.
And then also that the president, NEDA, or the regulating agency can intervene anytime in any transaction. Now, if we feel that we are being threatened. In fact, a new provision was added during the period of amendments. Yung ports and airports natin, we wanted it 60% at least Filipino. Kasi those are our first line of defense. Diba? Pag may invasion, dapat we control it right away. So and also air transport. For example, air transport, all those companies that are very successful in air transportation are highly subsidized by their own countries. We need to protect our own air transportation, especially the Philippine Airlines, which is flagship carrier natin. They can't compete with a highly subsidized company like in Malaysia or in the Middle East. So that's why we've put in some qualifications as well.
But telecom is quite sensitive, don't you think
It is.
so?
It is the concern is basically like They can spy on us. They can control our communications.
They can spy on us, they can control our communication, they can control what comes out in the
Correct.
internet, and with elections coming up, that can also be a major player as well.
But we have to remember then ownership of this tower cell sites. Some of them are already foreign owned actually, because the law actually does not, or the Constitution, as based on the Tatad case, it does not, it distinguishes ownership from operation. Filipinos can operate and foreigners cannot operate, pero foreigners can own. Actually, they own some already. So it's up to NTC on to apply the Privacy Act natin.
But but you have the NTC now, which I understand. You have the NEDA, you have the NTC, but sometimes you need the NTC, and the NTC doesn't even say anything on especially very sensitive issues.
We are not lacking in any laws. It's a matter of implementation.
Implementation.
And I would believe in the efficiency of our agencies, because if not, then we will have laws that are too complicated and too restrictive.
So it's clear, the three sectors will be transportation, telecommunications, and power generation.
But there's a lot more. Marami pa yan dyan.
Such as?
Kasi yung Public Service Act, it defines a very broad, like, railroad, street railway, traction railway, canal. It's very obsolete. Electric, light, heat, power, so telephone, telegraph, water, oil. Many are those are public services, and it has always been unclear kung ano ba talaga yung public utility when it comes to Constitution.
Right.
So what we have done is try to clarify.
Okay. It passed on second reading.
Second reading.
It's almost automatic to be passed already.
After 6 months of defense in the on the floor, then it passed on second reading.
Yeah, 6 months, huh?
Oh, more, yeah.
Okay.
Standing there with my heels.
Congresswoman, once passed again,
It-
let's please discuss
Yes,
this.
we will, and hopefully the Senate will discuss it soon. I heard that they will discuss it soon enough.
Maraming
But this is
salamat.
for the ordinary, everyday lives of Filipinos.
It's good to understand it, but even better is to understand the kind of safeguards that will be put in
Correct.
place, because the question is also, at the same time, doing better services for the Filipino
Yes.
people, but also protecting the Filipino
Find a
businessmen
balance.
as
That's
well.
true.
Maraming salamat kay Congresswoman Sharon Garin. Thank
Thank
you.
you.